Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my June favorites. This is the first time that I've ever been doing one of these, and a lot of these products are very old, but I was just able to get my hands on them over the last month or month and a half and try them out. So the first product that I have is the Modern Renaissance palette. I know this came out over a year ago, and I worked at Ulta at the time, and I liked it, but I didn't like it. Like, I didn't think it was for me. And I mean, the colors are obviously berries and oranges and more warmer tone colors, and I had predominantly only used cool tone colors, and so I just didn't think that this palette would work well for me. So I didn't swatch it at all. I didn't look at it at all. I was just like, meh, and never bought it. And then it was probably a month to a month and a half ago that I was like, man, I really like those colors, and I decided to pick it up, and I'm so happy I did. I wish I'd picked it up sooner, but I'm glad that I have it now. So I've really been enjoying this month. I've created a ton of looks, and the warm colors I feel are really great for the summer. And then the next thing that I have is this palette by Morphe. It is the 9 in Blush palette. There's obviously a lot of blushes in here, but this really peachy pink color, and this one's like a more muted peachy orange color, and then this like dusty rose color. I've been using these three the most, and I just love this palette. I love blushes, but I only have maybe 2 blushes in my collection, and I had heard about Morphe from Jaclyn Hill, and so I went on there and saw that there was this palette of the 9 blushes. I got it, and I love them. They're very pigmented, and so definitely use a light hand with these. The first time I used it, it was like a stripe across my face, but I have been loving these a lot. Again, these 3 shades are perfect for especially the looks that I do with the Modern Renaissance palette. They complement all the colors really well, and I've been using this a lot. Next thing I have to talk about is this MAC blush. I don't know if you can see it. I've had this one for a while. I've obviously hit pan on it, but I completely forgot about it. It was in the back of my makeup collection, and I went to go clean out all of my makeup stuff to make room for all this new stuff, and I found it, and it is in the shade Peachy Keen, and it's actually not as peach as you would think. It's more on the pink side, but I've just been loving this as well. I'm glad that I found it again, and it also has been working really well for the summertime. And then the next product that I have to show you is this moisturizer. It is the Fresh Rose Deep Hydration Face Cream, and I actually just got a sample of this a couple weeks ago from Sephora, and I loved it. Like I've said before, I have extremely Sahara Desert dry skin, and nothing was working. I mean, I was, using a moisturizing face wash, and then using moisturizing hydrating face masks, and then I would put on several different hydrating primers, and then a moisturizer, and then my regular foundation routine and things like that, and you could still see dry patches all over my skin. Like, nothing was working, and so I went into Sephora, and I told them that. I told them exactly that, and the rep that was working back in the skincare had suggested this for me, so I asked her for a sample, and so I've been using that sample for the last couple of weeks now, and it works wonders. I still do have a few dry patches, but I think that it's just from dehydration. I don't think that it's necessary that this isn't working, because this has made a huge difference. It does smell like roses, which I'm like hit or miss on that. Sometimes I really like it, most of the time I don't. So like that was the only thing that was like off-putting at first, but it does dissipate. It doesn't linger on your skin or anything. Probably after 5 or 10 minutes it goes away. So by the time I put on my foundation, I can't smell it anymore. But I have really been loving this stuff. It hasn't broken me out at all, and so I'm really excited to keep using it. And then the next product I have is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the lightest shade. I don't know if it says what the name is. I just know that it's in the lightest shade, and the smell is great. I know everybody raves about the smell. It's like the summery, at the pool, sunscreen type smell. The color works really well for me. Like I said, it's really light and I'm pretty fair skinned. The texture is amazing. It's very creamy, very soft, and I've just been loving this a lot. It's just, it adds a really light touch of color to my face. It's not too orangey or red toned, and I don't like red toned bronzers at all, and so I've really been enjoying this for the month of June. And then, hang on, I dropped a brush. The next 3 products that I have to talk about are all face brushes. The first one is the Real Techniques Blush Brush. I feel like this just applies my blush beautifully. It's easy to blend out if you put too much on, and it's tapered, and so you get just the right amount on your cheeks. And I've just been using this a lot, and I think it was like $8 at Ulta, and so I've really been enjoying this one. And then the next brush I have to talk about is the Morphe R31. It's from their Rose Gold collection, and I bought it as a highlighting brush. I just now started to use highlighters probably within the last month maybe, and so I wanted to get a good brush, and I tried this one, and I really like it. It's just the right size for my face. I feel like I kind of have a smaller face, and so it's not too big or too small, and I feel like it's just perfect to apply my highlighter. And then the next brush, and the last thing that I have to talk about for my favorites this month, is this Tarte brush. It doesn't have a name or anything. It's just called the Bronze and Glow contour brush, I believe, and I got this in one of those, like, you know, the deals that they have where like you get the bag and you get to pick like 5 or 6 full-size products, and then one of them this time around was a brush. So I got this one thinking, well, why not? You know, I don't have a lot of makeup brushes, and we'll see how Tarte's are. So this is the first brush that I've ever tried from them, and I freaking love this. This is my favorite brush by far out of probably any of my brushes. I don't really use this side very often. I have used it to apply powder and set my under eyes, but this side is the side that I love the most. I find that it puts on bronzer beautifully, and also if I put on my bronzer and my blush and it starts to look like too much, or it doesn't blend very well, I'll just use this and I'll just tap it on my face like this, and it just makes it blend seamlessly. Like, I don't have to like buff it in or anything. I just tap it, and it's so big and dense that it just makes it melt into my skin. I absolutely love it. Anytime that there's like that, like you can tell that there's like an actual transition, a harsh line between my blush and my bronzer, I'll use this. Sometimes if I put on my highlighter a little too heavy, I'll just go in and do this, and it makes everything look flawless. I absolutely love this brush. I want to get another one. I might do that. So those are all the products that are my favorites. I do have 3 products that were my disappointing products for the month. Usually I'm not very picky and I'm not disappointed very often, but these 3, I was just like, man, like, these really suck for me. Not in general, it just could be for me, because some of these people freaking love. But the first one I've never even heard of. It's called Rahua, possibly. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's an omega-9 hair mask. I recently dyed my hair. I had to bleach it several times and then dyed it gray, and so I wanted a really good hair mask, and so I got this sample, and it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing for my hair. It didn't feel stronger, it didn't feel healthier, smoother, nothing. And I was just like, what the heck? And it's 100% plant derived. It says rainforest grown, and I noticed nothing. Even in the shower, like sometimes I'll put on masks in the shower, and like with my hair wet, they feel really nice, and then like sometimes when you wash them out, then you're like, meh. It wasn't even like that. Like, it did not feel soft in the shower or anything, and I was really disappointed by this. I don't know if you have to keep using it, because this was a one-time use for me because I have such thick hair, but I did not like this at all. At all. The next product that I have is by Fresh. It's the Vitamin Nectar Vibrancy Booster Mask. And I got this in a Sephora Play Box a few months ago, and I just got around to using it. I've used it a couple times in like the last week, and it smells great. It smells super fruity. It has like pieces of fruit, I think, in it. It feels nice on the skin. Like, I mean, it's like, almost feels like you're putting jam or jelly on your face. Like, it feels funny and gelatin-like, but this broke me out. Like, I don't know if you can see, I have this one disappearing and I have one right here, but like all along here and up here, I had broke out, and this is the only thing that I had changed. Everything else in my, you know, skincare routine, I hadn't tried any new makeup or anything, and this was the only thing that I had changed, and I broke out like crazy. And normally I'll get a pimple here or there, you know, maybe once every few weeks, once a month, something like that, but I had like 5 all right here on the side of my face, and this is the only thing that I can think of. So I'm hesitant to try it again. I don't really want to try it again because I obviously like clear skin, but I'm pretty sure this is what did it. So might work for other people, did not work for me. And then the last disappointing product, which I know that I'm probably the only one. Let me know if I'm not the only one. But everybody raves about this stuff, and because I have really dry skin, I decided that I was going to give it a try. And it is the Hangover RX Primer by Too Faced. And I know that this is so many people's holy grail. Like, they love this stuff. And it's supposed to be hydrating. It has the coconut water in it and everything. And so I was like, yeah, like, I'm gonna pick this up. Everybody, you know, has raved about this and said that it was super hydrating and things like that. And so I picked up the small size. You know, I will almost always pick up the small size of stuff so that if I don't like it, I don't have a ton to use up. But I don't like this at all. Like, people said that it smells so good, smells like coconuts. I don't particularly like the smell, and usually I like coconutty things, but this smells off to me. And then it's not very moisturizing. Like, almost none whatsoever. It's so thin, and it just, I don't know if my skin is so dry that it immediately just absorbs it to where there's nothing really left. But I mean, I will put this on and 30 seconds later my skin feels exactly the way it did before. It doesn't feel hydrating at all. And again, before I started using the Fresh moisturizer, I was, you know, just using this primer, and my whole face was just caked in dry patches still. And I was like, what the heck? Like, everybody loves this stuff, and I don't like it. Just me. Wish it was a little thicker. I wish it was more hydrating. I wish the smell was different. So I will not be repurchasing this. I actually have ordered a Makeup Forever hydrating primer, and I'm going to use that one and see how that one is. I've heard really good things about that one too. So hopefully that one is better than this one, because me no likey. But that's it. Those are all the products that I had to share with you today. Leave me comments in the leave me comments down below if you have any questions or comments, or if you like some of these products or hate some of these products, or you just think I'm freaking crazy for not liking the Too Faced Hangover Primer. Either way, I'd be happy to hear from you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!